Hey everyone, Nuthero12 here, and welcome to Umineko. I'm really excited to get started into this, actually. Uh, I've actually kind of been wanting to get into this since I started the Answer arc in Higurashi, actually. Mainly because I hear a lot of good stuff about this series. And, I'm gonna assume that it's set in around the same kind of... Well, it's gonna at least have the same sort of themes, or at least similar themes, I assume, because, it's the same, like, When They Cry type deal. I could be completely wrong, and I'm just assuming that it has some similar themes. At least that's gonna be my early prediction. I really don't know anything about this, other than, apparently Umineko means seagull. So, I know that apparently, so that's about all I know. So, hopefully it's good. Might as well get into it. Episode 1, Legend of the Golden Witch. Welcome to Rokenjima. The Golden Witch extends her heartfelt greetings. Please take it easy and relax for the time being. There's no need to think overly hard about any of this. Quietly accept all that is about to happen. That is all that's being asked of you. The difficulty level is standard. We might as well at least start by taking the easy road. Whenever... I don't trust him at all, because whenever it's easy, quote, it's always, like, the most confusing one. So I'm gonna assume it's the most confusing one. Tips mode. In the middle, right-click with the mouse, and we'll open the tips mode. Here, besides the save and load functions, you can view characters' profiles and more. Additionally, additional information will be added as you progress through the story. Probably a good idea to take a peek here every once in a while. Probably. The story is very obviously fictional and fantastic in nature. Any resemblance to existing individuals, organization, locations, or something else is purely coincidental. Let's get into this. Oh yeah, P.S. if it isn't blatantly obvious, yeah, I installed a patch and stuff. Because apparently there's a shit ton of characters, and I did not feel like going through each of those characters. And plus I got recommended to go through a patched version of this, because apparently it's better. I'll see if it is. The old physician let out a sigh as he removed the stethoscope. Two elderly men could be seen in a dimly lit study, which was filled with dust and a sickly sweet stench. In the corner of this room, which was much larger than what most people would call a study, was an expensive-looking bed, a man undergoing a medical examination, and the physician conducting it. There was also what appeared to be a servant watching over the whole scene. Sounds like an alcoholic over here. As the man bearing his chest for the stethoscope rearranged his clothes, he spoke unapologetically. Yeah, usually it's not a good idea to keep drinking when you're really old, especially when a doctor tells you not to. Great, just completely ignore the doctor. After eyeing both the master who demanded the alcohol and the family doctor who forbade it, Genji, the old butler, silently gave a slight nod and carried out his master's orders faithfully. It's not like he can disobey it. The family doctor, Nanjo, let out a deep sigh once again as he watched the butler busy himself alongside the liquor cabinet. There was a smell filling up the room. This sweet, poisonous aroma felt as though it melted the heart, if not the soul itself. It was the smell of that venomous green drink that the man couldn't bear to part with. I don't know of any green alcohol, so I don't know.
お前は私の長きにわたる親友だ。今日まで私を長らえさせてくれたことを深く感謝する。
Clearly you don't care at this point, so...
私は何も医者としての忠告など金蔵さんは全く聞いてくれませんからな。
That's a fair point.
お前とて差し間違えた手を待てと言っても聞かぬではないか。
That's because he probably just assumes you're senile as shit.
ならば愛子というものだろう。
親方様、
I feel bad for this butler. He's the real victim.
薬は切れても死にはせんが、こいつが切れては死んでしまうでな。
That's what a lot of alcoholics say. And usually it ends up being, yeah, you're not gonna die. You just assume you're gonna die. Disregarding Nanjo, who had his face set in a resigned expression, Kinzo took the glass that Genji was holding out to him. Very few people would associate that venomous color with an alcoholic beverage. I don't associate it with it, apparently.
南條、正直に話せ。私の命はあとどの程度持つ？
If you drink that, about 10 minutes.
さてどのくらいと申し上げればそのお酒を控えてくれますよな。
There you go. Nanjo once again let out a sigh of resignation. Then he finally spoke to Kinzo as the latter swirled his glass.
長くはありませんな。
どの程度に長くないというのだ？
You have 6 months to live.
このチェスで例えましょう。金蔵さんの詰めもなかなかですが、私のキングを追い詰めるには至りますまい。
Nanjo's gaze was directed at a side table with a massive chess set placed on top of it. Judging by the positioning of the pieces, the game seemed to be entering its final stage. Doesn't look like it's in the final stage at all. Jesus Christ. That's still like a good while until it's over. Unless you fuck it up. Black's rook and bishop were cutting deeply into enemies' lines. White's king had already been castled and cornered, so that even an amateur could see that the match would reach its conclusion before too long. I mean, it's closer to the end than not, but it's still not like next to over. It's still got a decent amount. Every time Nanjo came to give a medical examination, both of them would make a few moves. Nanjo's was hinting at that Kinzo would most likely fall into his eternal sleep before this game could be concluded. These were less the words of a physician than they were the words of an old friend.
普通の患者になら遺言を書くよう勧める行為です。
遺言とは何だ南條。私の屍をどのように食い散らかせとハゲタカどもに指南する書き置きなのか。
That's one way you can view it, or you could view it as parting and hopefully instilling wealth and prosperity to your loving family. Though I'm sure that's probably not what's going to be the case, especially since he describes them as vultures.
いや、違いますぞ。遺言は意思を残すことだ。
There you go.
遺産分配のことだけを書くものじゃない。
ほう、遺産分配以外に書くこととは何なのか。
I don't know. You could write about a lot of shit in a will. I don't know. I've never written one, so... Ugh.
心残りややり残し。
You know, talk about how you shouldn't... Tips to the kids, don't keep drinking like I have for my entire life.
受け継いでほしいことや伝えたいこと何でもいいんです。
Yeah, you can literally put down anything in a will. It's not like they can say, yeah, you're not allowed to put that in there.
受け継いでほしいことや伝えたいことだと。
Yeah, you can shit talk your entire family in your will. It's god awful to do, but you could.
バカバカしい。この 後ろ宮金蔵、後に残したいことも伝えたいこともただの一つもないわ。裸一貫で生まれた。そして裸一貫で死ぬ。バカ息子どもに残したいものなど何一つないわ。もしも訪れる最後が今日だとしても今だとしても、私は何も恐れることなくその死の運命を受け、全てを築き上げた。富も名誉も全てだ。それらは私と共に築き上げられ、私と共に失われよう。
Good God.
後に残してやるものなど何もないわ。何もない。
What a fucking dick.
墓も棺も何も望まぬわ。
What the fuck is wrong with this dude? He really is senile as shit.
それが魔女と私の契約だ。
Oh, yep, he's. I'm pretty sure he's insane.
私が死ぬ時に全てを失う。初めからその約束だからこそ何も残らぬのだ。
Okay.
何も残せぬのだ。
You could. I mean, just because you let's say you made a contract. Why would you make a contract so that you lose everything when you die? Unless you're an absolute dick to your children and family. Why would anyone want to do that? After reaching a furious crescendo, Kinzo suddenly slumped over and died. His expression was limp and feeble, as though an evil spirit had possessed him and then left.
だが未練がある。
Your constant drinking that's led to your death? That would be my regret.
残すものは何一つないが、残したまま行けぬものが一つだけある。
それを書き記せばいい。もちろん生きているうちにこなせればそれでいい。
It would be best if you finished your will before you died.
だが万一の時、残された者はそれを引き継いでくれる。自分に万一があっても必ずその心残りが解決できるように残していく。それが遺言というものです。
When Nanjo tried to gently pat Kinzo's shoulder, the dying man flew into a sudden rage and batted away Nanjo's hand.
ダメだダメだダメだ。
Okay.
私が生きているうちでなくてはならぬ。私は死ねば魂はすぐに契約の悪魔に食らわれて消え去ってしまう。
I think what would be best right now is he took a little nap. I think that's what he really needs right now.
死後の世界も安らぎも私にはないのだ。だから全ては私が生きているうちでなければならぬ。だから遺言状など私には必要ない。そのようなものを書く暇があったなら、私は見たい。もう一度見たい。ベアトリーチェの微笑む顔がもう一度見たい。
It seems he has some love problems now. God, just everything's coming out. This is what happens when you're an alcoholic. You have love problems.
はあ、ベアトリーチェ、なぜに私をこれほどまでに拒むのか。
Maybe because you're an alcoholic.
今こそお前に与えられた全てを返そう。全てを失おう。だから最後にもう一度だけお前の美少を見せてくれ。
This guy's fucking weird.
ベアトリーチェ、頼む交渉だ。聞こえているはずだ。お前はそういう女だ。頼む。姿を見せてくれ。いるんだろう。
I doubt it.
聞こえていながら姿を消し、今もこの部屋のどこかで私を嘲笑っているのだろう。私の前にもう一度現れてくれ。そして微笑んでくれ。なじってくれてもいい。望むならお前の手で私の命を奪ってくれてもいい。
I think he's just insane.
このまま一人で死にたくない。 お前の微笑みを再び一目見るまでは絶対に死ねないのだ。ああ、ベアトリーチェ、ベアトリーチェ。
Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna have a really early prediction. I'm gonna assume. I want to see if this is actually could be even close to true. Don't tell me if I'm right or wrong, of course. Spoiler rules still apply because I have I'm flying blind here. But I'm gonna go on a limb and just say possibly, that it. I wonder if this could be like one of those stories where it's gonna be like him thinking there's someone out there. There's really not. It's just like his dead wife or whatever, and he's drinking, like, you know, his alcohol is like repressing the memory. He's assumed she's still there, and he's all crazy for her. So it could be his wife or something. Dead wife. Let's go with that. I mean, he has a family, so might as well assume his dead wife.
この命はくれてやる。お前にくれてやる。
And he's just feeling like really regretful for it.
五章だ。ベアトリーチェ。
I'm gonna go with that. Until I get proven otherwise, I'm gonna assume that that is correct. Because, I don't think there's an invisible person standing there in the room with him. I'm gonna assume it's gonna be like, if there is someone invisible, it's gonna be like the spirit of his wife or whatever. You know, that kind of shit. But what do I know? I guess we're getting an intro. Well, that was something else, I guess. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, sounded good. The first day, October 4th, 1986. Dawn of the first day.
へえ。たったの20分で着いちまったんだから驚いちまうぜ。
I couldn't help but scratch my head and marvel at how far things have come in recent years. We used to go by boat. Back then, we were all forced to endure nearly half a day of swaying back and forth over the sea before we reached Nijima. Sure. Nijima? Let's go with that. Things have gotten so much more convenient these days. Still, I've never been on a plane this small. I've flown on a huge jumbo jet before, but this will be my first experience in such a tiny one. I've never been in a tiny plane either, so I probably wouldn't want to get on one with propellers either. I would sincerely insist on one with, you know, some jets. Not gonna lie, I just like that extra security. It's gonna shake, isn't it? They say smaller boats shake more than big ones, so I guess the same rule probably applies to planes. Probably, it's safe to assume. There's not as much surface area for the plane to shake, like, you know, in general. Same with boats. It can the shaking gets dispersed over the entirety of it. Just spare me.
大丈夫だよバトラー君。船に比べたら全然揺れは少ないよ。
おいジョージの兄貴かよ。急に勘弁してくれよ。今ので寿命が3年縮んじまったぜ。つうか揺れってなんすか？別に俺は飛行機も揺れんのかな、まさか落ちたりしねえかななんて夢にも思っちゃいないぜ。
I think it's very reasonable to assume that to be slightly afraid of the plane falling out of the sky. I mean, it's probably not going to, but it's just, it would always be in the back of my mind. You know what? If this plane falls, I'm gonna fucking die. This is gonna be unfortunate.
ごめんごめん。もう小さい頃とは違うよね。あれから6年も経ってるんだし、もうバトラ君も子供じゃないか。
じゃあ兄貴はタバコも酒も OK ってかよ。タバコは興味ねえけど酒は飲んでみたいよな。
I mean, it's nothing really special. It's kind of like one of those things where you're not allowed to do it, but once you're able to do it, it's like, meh, it's alright. It's like, eh. At first, like, the novelty eventually would wear off, and it's like, oh, this actually isn't really anything special. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate.
兄貴なんかおじさんの遺伝子あんなら相当飲めちゃいそうだけど。
Well, and to be fair, I'm also not an alcoholic, so that might change if you are alcoholic. You might think that it is the best thing ever.
僕の場合は好きで飲むというよりは仕事で飲む方が多いからね。日本のビジネスは酒抜きでは難しいよ。
It's usually hard to do business anywhere without drinking, at least once or twice. If you're doing like major business, at least. Not that I would know.
そうっすよね。だから俺も今晩の夕食あたりに初挑戦してみようかなって。
Yeah, that's the reason.
ダメだよ。バトラ君はまだ未成年じゃないか。
And?
未成年の飲酒は発育に悪影響を及ぼす可能性って。
Can't. Does alcohol actually stunt growth? I don't know if it does. I think that's just like one of those things where people just say it does and we're supposed to assume it is. You know, just one of those things. It's to, quote, discourage people from drinking. Yeah, or at least minors from drinking.
こんだけタッパがありゃ俺の発育は十分っすから。むしろちょいと身長縮めた方が服が探しやすいくらい。
I don't know, I know the fucking truth. Oh, God. God, it actually is a pain in the ass to find, like actually problems now. It's a pain in the ass to find some shirts that, like, for the sleeves to actually be long enough, because I just fucking hate it when sleeves are too short. And it's like, oh my god, I don't want to have to buy, like, 2 sizes up just so the sleeve goes down to the correct area. Good god. Finding shorts is a pain in the ass as well. Because usually they're either too short or too long. And it's like, well, actually, no. I usually don't have the too long problem. They're usually just too damn short. And it's like, oh god. Again, don't want to get 2 or 3 sizes up. This fucking sucks. So actually, I know that struggle. Never mind even getting like a suit that'll fit normally. Oh god. I puff my chest out proudly. It's just a pain in the ass. Until I hit my growth spurt, my height was below average in my class. I'm sorry. I've always fucking been above average. My entire life, all throughout my school life, it's like, yep, I'm just one of the tallest kids in school. This fucking sucks. But then I grew, and before I knew it, I'd passed 180 centimeters, 5'11". I guess I have all that muscle training in those shady mail-order performance-enhancing drugs to thank for that. What? Before then, I never dreamed that I'd shoot above 10 centimeters to pass George. Damn. I'll bet my relatives will say, look how big you've gotten, Battler, or something. It's all so embarrassing. I wish they'd just give me a break. Anyway, my name, Battler. Well, it's pretty damn weird, don't you think? I've heard weirder. I've gotta wonder what my parents were thinking when they named me that. I've never met anyone who could read it right the first time. Okay, whoops. I usually get called Sento. I'm sorry. Sorry, but that's not even close. Well, it's not spelled close. My name is written as something. Can you read it? Absolutely not. The first part is my family name, Ushiro Miya. That's a very plausible Japanese pronunciation so far. Yeah, okay, sure. The problem is my given name. That is made up of the characters for fight and person, and it's pronounced Battler. Put it all together and you've got Ushiro Miya Battler. Pretty crazy, right? Again, I've heard worse, or weirder. I shouldn't say worse, but weirder. It's crazy enough that my parents decided to call me that, but it's even more crazy that some government worker let them make it official. Both groups are at the top of my must-kill list. Anyway, this is one of my cousins. His name is something. Pronounced Uyashiro Miya George. George. God, yeah, I'm gonna probably be just using fucking first names at this rate. Thank God, George. I can pronounce that. He's 5 years older than me, so he must be turning 23 this year. Oh, so he's 18. Or 17. Whatever. Since the Ushiro Miya cousins consist of 2 boys and 2 girls, I ended up playing with George all the time. And because I've always thought of him as a big brother, I call him Anaki today.
しかしバトラ君は大きくなったな。
Ah, hey buddy.
男子3日を合わざれば刮目して待つべしとはよう言うたもんや。
Yeah, they always say that. Yeah. All those 0 people.
やっぱり血かしらね。ルドルフも高校くらいまでは身長そんなになかったのよ。成長期が遅い方が最終的には伸びるのかもね。
I don't know if that's true. I think you just say that to make the the shorter people feel better.
なことないっすよ。男は中身も伴わなくっちゃ。
Sure. Well, that actually is
So,
true. That is very true.
バトラ君は分かっとる。
You need to be both tough on the outside and the inside.
男は中身で勝負なんや。常に己の鍛錬を忘れたらあかん。そして虎視眈々とチャンスを待ってドカンと開花させるんや。わしもまさか今日会社社長なんて一国一城の主になれるとは思わんかった。そうや、あの無一文の焼け野原がわしの原点なんや。
This stout, plump old guy is George's dad, Uncle Hideyoshi. He's the husband of Dad's older sister. Oh god, no. It's gonna be a bunch of fucking, like, ties between family members, isn't it? This is Dad's older brother, sister's cousin. Oh god, if it starts doing that shit, it's gonna be like, fuck that. Fuck that. It's gonna be so fucking confusing. In other words, we're not blood related at all. He's nice to children, sociable all the time, and even quick to give out some spending money to us kids. Oh hey, I'm running low on some money, can you hand me some? Simply put, he's an awesome uncle. He speaks in an odd and very noticeable Kansai dialect, but he's actually a natural-born Kanto man. Apparently, impressions are everything in the business world, so speaking in a different style than other people is an act that makes him stick out more. However, I hear he gets embarrassed when talking within earshot of a real Kansai person, so he switches back to standard Japanese. I don't really get it, but he's definitely an interesting person.
すぐ自分の自慢話に入っちゃうのがたまに傷なのよね。およしなさいな。バトラ君、耳にタコができちゃってるんだから。ねえ。
Yes, I am getting tired of it.
そんなことねえっすよ。
God damn it, you're supposed to agree.
でもいいじゃないっすか。語れる武勇伝があるってのは男としてかっこいいことだと思いますよ。
Yeah, it doesn't mean I want to fucking hear about him bragging about himself.
俺なんか語るような話は何もないっすからね。
Well, then you're not doing anything with your life.
あらそうバトラ君なんかそのルックスでいっぱい女の子を泣かせてそうだからさぞかし武勇伝が多そうだと思ったんだけど。
うわあ、だだだだだ。情報弾じゃないっすよ。
Poor bastard.
そんな妙な武勇伝あるわけないじゃない。
Come on, dude. You're not supposed to deny it that harshly.
むしろ紹介してほしいくらいっす。
Oh, as in he's actually. Oh, never mind. I'm sorry, dude. Actually, now I do feel bad for you. Ugh.
あらあるんでしょ武勇伝。おばさんにも後で教えてね。
Oh God! Ew! Gross! Go away!
ジョージったらそういう浮ついた話が全然ないんだから。
Oh, poor George. Damn. This is George's mother, Aunt Eva. Or Eva. Whatever. She's my dad's older sister. She and Uncle Hideyoshi are a pair of jokers, and they've always teased me, back as far as I can remember. This sometimes made them a bit hard to get along with when I was small. Well, I guess the events of the last 30 seconds prove that they can still be hard to get along with. Even so, George's family is interesting and fun, and they seem to get along just fine. Sheesh, it's pretty much the total opposite of my family.